Whoa. Here's a nice piece of shit. Slumber Party Massacre is a remake of the 1982 film of the same name. And as you would imagine, it's a female empowerment bullshit movie that, honestly, I think I'm kind of offended by it, to be honest. You know, first of all, I was trying to go into this as optimistic as I could because I knew what movie I was in for. I'm like, there has to be something. What clued me in is, like, months ago when this first came out, like VOD or whatever, Sinister Cinema, he put out his review, which I didn't watch because I wanted to watch this first if I ever had a chance to. And in his video description, it said rant. So I'm like, oh, that must mean it's shit. Or at least is like disgracing the original or something. Because I know he's a big fan of the original and the second one. As am I. I enjoyed both of those films. I haven't seen the third one. I hear it's not very good, but it's gotta be better than this. Why can't we? This is one of the reasons why we can't have slasher films anymore, because you just can't make them like you used to. You have to have women in peril, you have to have them running from someone, and you have to have them, being killed off one by one. But in the age of female empowerment, you can't do that. So instead, you get this shit bomb. Alright? And I'm surprised that's 100% Rotten Tomatoes rating. Were all of them women that reviewed the movie? This was written by women. Now, don't get me wrong. Women were behind the original, and that was a feminist movie, but that knew its limits. This went all out. So, the beginning of this, it started out kind of promising to me, because you have this group of teenage girls in 1993, and they don't tell you first, but you got this guy named Chad talking weird, and I'm like, what is this, the 90s? And then it cuts to a wide shot of the cabin, and it says 1993. I'm like, oh, that's where I'm yo, bro, dog. I'm like, what is this, the 90s? Yeah, it's Chad's from the 90s. And you have Russ Thorne, which is one of the only good things. You bring him back from the original, which is cool, and he is, but like, you get 2 fake out jump scares within first 5 minutes of the movie, and then the first 2 kills are off screen. Like, Chad gets killed off screen, basically, like, you see him going like this, but you don't see the drill go through him, and then one of their friends gets killed in the kitchen off screen, and I can see Chad because he gets killed when the music is going, but how didn't they hear the drill going when the other girl was killed? And then each one of them are killed one by Russ, except for one, Trish, the survivor, who is of course African American, because we can't have white leads in our movies anymore. I'm not against that. Have an African American lead, that's fine. But have variation. Every single one of our main character women have dark hair. Where's the redheads? Where's the blondes? The original had multicolored hair. I think there was a redhead, a couple blondes, dark haired. They had a variation. I understand you want to have ethnicity. That's fine. But they don't need to all have dark hair. That's bland. It's bland, really. I know you're trying to spice up the ethnicities, and they all look like they're some sort of ethnicity. Even if, like, 2 of them are white, they have a tint of something in them. Like your skin tone difference. Everybody has a big mixing pot nowadays. I got Irish and German in me, but I may just look like a plain old white guy. But I got Irish and German in me. You can see the red in my beard. Well, you sort of can, but the gray is kind of showing too, because I'm getting old. I'm almost 35, which I don't think I would have engraved in this beard since I was 25. But that's beyond that. But yes. So we have one survivor, and we cut to, says present day, so 30 years. 25. When does it take place? 2021. 28 years. And the survivor's daughter, Dana, is going with her friends on a trip to somewhere. And they try to slowly clue you into what's going on. Because they're like, she's like, oh, Dana never told me where you guys were going. And they mess up what the name of the place is. They're like, oh, yeah, Laurel. I messed up the name. They both start with an L. And I'm like, okay. And then their car breaks down, which is a standard slasher trope. But as we find out, it's not really a standard slasher trope. They find that one of the girls, whose name is Maeve, which is the name of my niece, her sister, Alex, spelled Alix. Just a little tip, movie. Nobody spells it like that. It's like trying to be cool and hip and in the modern times. Nobody spells it like that. It's stupid. Alix, my ass. And the only thing about her is that she reminds me of the actress, whose name I'm blanking on, but who played Alex in Lost. She looks kind of like her. Younger, of course. But, yeah, so they end up going to this gas station place. And they meet an old woman named Kay, and they see they're renting out a cabin. So they take the cabin because they're not going to be able to make it to their place because their car is damaged. So while they're there, we get there are a group of boys across the cabin across the lake or whatever. And much like in the 1993 we had Chad looking in on the girls, we have another character whose name is Guy, I believe. I think. I don't know. Or these two of them are going. I don't know. But so yes, Russ Thorne does return, and they kind of hint at this because they say that there's a news radio broadcast talking about it, and that a bunch of cats were mutilated before the murders happened, and then you see there's a bunch of cat deaths on the wall. So, or missing cats, I should say. So we're hinting at it. But, so, it's actually the repairman who was coming in to give them stuff so they could leave that night. And he sees them in there, and Russ that finds him and kills him off screen, of course. I think it's off screen. But there are some decent kills in here. That's one of the teeny tiny positives that we have. But kills him off screen, and then Alex, who doesn't want anything to do with this now, despite wanting to come here and was told not to, runs off and finds, I think his name is Dave, and he's dead. So she runs back and she tells them that someone killed Dave. She's covered in blood. And this is where we get the first twist of the two-twist movie. They planned this. They go, it's they're like, pillow fight. And I'm like, what are you going to do with a pillow? And they pull out weapons. And I'm like, wait. Huh? Turns out they did this on purpose so they could kill Russ Thorne for killing the others back in 93 and traumatizing Dana's mother. And I went, oh, it is this kind of movie. I went, oh, this is gonna suck. So I sat there and I watched this movie, alright? And I gotta tell you, from this point, I was okay up to this point. I was like, okay, this could be bad. And as soon as this happened, I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate this. This is Black Christmas 2019 if it was allowed to actually be a slasher and show the kills on screen. For the most part, some kills that are off screen, but there are some of them that are on screen. It's more of a slasher than that. But still, and my God, I haven't seen Black Christmas 2019, but I can't imagine this. Let me tell you why I'm offended by this movie, alright? So, normally, with the original, and what they showed at the beginning of this, you get the pillow fight scene where there's the guys gawking on them, and women go, they do that here, but with men. This time, it's men having a pillow fight in their underwear, and doing it, and I'm like, men don't do that. Alright, maybe homosexual men, but they're all straight, as far as I know. And two of their names are Guy, only so they can have the joke where they keep confusing the two up. It's stupid. It's stupid. Where's Guy? I thought that was Guy. No, the other guy. There are two guys. No, there are four of you. No, there are five of us. There are two guys. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. Who's on first? Who's on? And that's not an insult. The great Laurel and Hardy. Okay? Let's move on. No. And that's not the only time that they do this. Because later, so Russ Thorn comes to them eventually. And as you would expect a movie like this, they rise up and end up killing him. There are homages, I'm going to call them rip-offs from the original. First of all, when Russ Thorn kills Guy, Guy 1, or Guy 2, whoever it was, they do the thing where they show up from below with the drill, like in the original, as he goes to kill him. The only problem is, that kill in the original was to symbolize the male domination over women. It was a feminist movie, but it was subtle. That was subtlety. This movie don't know subtlety. And that doesn't make any sense in this case to do that shot, other than to rip off the original. It's not an homage, it's a rip off because you did it wrong. And later, one of the dudes are in there holding the guitar from part 2. And it's cool to see it, but no, just... We get it. Hey, look, it's the guitar from the second one. Ooh. And then later, you get the shot where, to take the machete, cut off the drill bit piece. Okay, is that the last time we're ripping off the originals, or what? And yeah, because they kill us. I mean, they killed the fuck out of him. And I went, okay, are we done? And I looked, and there's like 25 minutes left. I'm like, wait, what? What's left? Well, twist number 2. There's another killer. And I kind of figured this out. So, people start to get killed, right? There's another killer. One of them is apparently a mechanic, so she messed up the car on purpose, and she gets killed underneath the car by someone, who's ever doing it. Right, Russ's body disappears. You're supposed to think it's him, but I'm like, no, that guy is deader than fuck. All right, not only did he get stabbed, get slashed in the throat. He got stabbed a million times by Alex, and then stabbed again by Dana several times with the machete. The other two guys that are left think the girls are the serial killers, because who wouldn't? And so one of the guys is like, I'm gonna go try to get a signal, and he walks off, and the other guy's like, I think time to take a shower. You think you have serial killers living in a cabin next door, and you're gonna go take a shower. And this is the most gratuitous fucking shower scene. Here's my big problem with this thing they do. Because if it was women, you'd have a bunch of women out there bitching and moaning and complaining that you are sexualizing women and you are showing them like that. If they filmed a shower scene like this with a woman, there would be a bunch of women on the internet going, oh, you are sexualizing women. Women are not sexual objects. They're people. But it's okay to do that to a dude taking a shower going, with some weird sexual music going off, showing man ass. No. Meh. That is... No. You cannot do that. You cannot You cannot be a director or a writer of this movie and say, hey, it's not okay to objectify women, but we're going to objectify men because that's what they did in the 80s. They objectified women, so we can do that to the men. But if it's not okay for us to do that to you, you cannot do that to us. All right? If you think it's not okay to do it to you, why would you do it to someone of the opposite sex? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is bullshit. You do not know. I was ready to turn it off. But I wanted to see where this was going. Who was the killer? Was it the other guy? No. And I started to figure it out because Alex was eating these cookies left by Kay. And I went, why are they missing these cookies? Something's got to be going on with these cookies. Sure enough, I kept watching her to see if something was going to happen. I'm like, something going to happen with her and those cookies? And sure enough, she starts puking. And I'm like, oh, Kay's the other killer. Yep. And would you believe they used the most tropiest of tropes for why she's doing this? She is, to quote Mickey, Russ's mother. I went, and they don't full out say it like, so I suspected her, and then Dinah goes off, and she finds the other guy, and they both think each other is the killer. So the guy's like, okay, here. He puts down his weapon. You put down your stick, and we'll just drive off together. And he gets in the car and drives out without her. And she's walking through the woods, and she finds Kay. And I went, okay, it's her. It's got to be her. And as they're walking, they're talking, and Dana explains what happened with her mother back in 93. And that she killed Russ Thorne to get revenge. And then Kay says this. She goes, mother will do anything for their child. And I went, you gotta be shitting me. We're fucking doing this. And then Dana jumps to this conclusion. She goes, you left the cookies on the porch. And the Wi-Fi password was changed this morning. And I went, wait, you don't even know that the cookies were poisoned. You're not even there. Alex got sick after you left. You have no idea about Alex being sick. You cannot point out that plot point because you don't know about it. Good God, this is... But yes, as you imagine, it gets more bullshit because somehow Mom figured out where they were and saves the day. Yes, Dana's mom, Trish, shows up, which is my mom's name. Wait, mom's name is Trish. Character name Maeve. That's really weird. But yeah, she shows up out of fucking nowhere. How she got there, how she even knew is beyond me. But she shows up, and she's the one that kills Kay. And they all hug, and the movie ends. And that's it. We don't find out what happens to other dude. He just drove off. Yeah. This movie sucks. It's up to a certain point I was with it. As soon as they revealed it was a, hey, we're going to go out there and kill this guy movie, I was like, no. I just want a slasher movie where you got characters getting killed off one by one, and it's not about female empowerment. They even mention, they have a line where they say feminist movement or something like that. I'm like, really? You say that in the fucking movie. They knew what movie they were making. They didn't care. Why just have a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes? This movie is shit. This movie is shit. And as a man, I am offended by this film. So it's no surprise when I tell you that when it comes to Slumber Party Massacre, it can fry in fucking hell. What are your thoughts on the Slumber Party Massacre remake. Comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I need alcohol. I need alcohol. I need alcohol. I need to forget about this movie. I need a blackout. Bye.